my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. Every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable Flora, she's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Petals got power, Florabella stands tall. Every drip, every drop, watch the haters fall. Candle sharp as thorns, ain't taking no mess. Scroll through her feet, feel that queen's finesse. Vines tangle tight, but Flora breaks free. Roots so deep, can't mess with her tree. From the mud she rises, roses from the dirt. Every comment section she lays down hurt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. From the garden green to the concrete wall, Florabella, unstoppable nature's child. Leaves whisper secrets, she's the loudest shout. From the channel buzzing, she never backs out. Seed of strength, through seasons she grows. In the face of doubt, her spirit glows. Cameras ain't a limit, she branches out. Thorns in her crown, she wears it no doubt. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless. Flora's anthem, blooming under pressure. Resilient, resolving, no lesser. Florabella's reign strong and relentless. Beauty in battle, queen sure defenseless.
Florabella on my screen. Her smile, it shines so bright. She's a queen with every scene. In the morning or the night, recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable Flora, She's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. With every like and every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free, unstoppable flora. She's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Recipes and good vibes flow. Every video a gem. Her confidence, it grows and grows. We're inspired like her friends. Unstoppable flora. She's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong. Every share, we feel her energy. No storm too strong, she can't bear. She's setting us all free. Unstoppable flora. She's got that power, spreading her aura, blossoming like a flower. Through the highs and all the lows, she remains so strong. Her spirit always glows. She's where we all belong.
Talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boys. I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to bro boy. No, I can't talk to bro boy. I can't talk to. That nigga's crazy. Hopping in, bitch, and I saw it to be. Snakes in the grass, so they harder to see. My brother would give up his life to the O. He told me he'd go be a martyr for me. Said that she ready to come to the 6. I hit up Pauline and charter the P. Ain't really leave, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm riding around in Atlanta with Sav, cause that nigga been going harder than me. Nothing to change, I'm just harder to please. Ferrari is making an SUV. We ain't got a choice, we ordering these. Shout out Noel for recording the V's. He know where this shit about to go, cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You was getting ready to diss, but don't even mention the hoe, and don't even mention the foe, unless you was trying to go broke.
Whoa, I got more strikes than Adidas.
Yeah, I got the stripes for fuck.
I don't chase bitches, I leave them.
Clothes screaming like I'm
I don't get mad, I get even.
Treat you niggas like a puzzle.
I don't get mad, I get even.
Treat you niggas that you
whoa. All that foundation she wearing, she thinks she QC. Telling I might sneak in and you with me. You must be Coach K cause you ain't P. I'm on the jet like my last name Lee. 2 sticks in my hand like I'm playing a Wii. G-Block babies will spank you for free. We rough niggas up, now they begging for peace.
baby.
Stepping on shit out in French in my toe. One in I toe, I'm so OVO. Halloween coming, he wanna dress up, but he don't need no costume, I'm turning on ghosts. She caught me mucus, I stay in her throat. See, hit that boy, got his ass hitting notes. My niggas were man,
So you know where this shit about to go, cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You was getting ready to diss, but don't even mention the hoe, and don't even mention the foe, unless you was trying to go broke. Oh damn, man, you niggas is the worst. Savage snatch you out your crib, then drop you in a hearse. Baby, please, make me nervous. Stop reaching in your purse. Nigga went and bought a house when he could've bought a verse. Niggas dumb as fuck. Imagine if I did that stupid shit when I was coming up. My crib feel like a hedge fund. I be in here just thumbing up. No, I'm S1 till I'm done fucking London up. Niggas made me nauseous. I had enough of bro boys. I can't talk to 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 broke boys, I can't talk to broke boys. All you niggas make me sick. All you niggas rapping about the bricks and the licks. Then I hear in real life you living with your bitch. I can't talk to broke boys, I can't talk to broke boys. I can't talk to broke boys. I don't want no combo, I don't got no time for niggas posting mansion, living in a condo. Y'all be make believing, I cannot relate to ya. I can't talk to broke boys, I can't talk to broke boys. I cannot believe y'all was dissing on a old boy. I can't even think of how you came up with that flow, boy. Please talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to broke boy. 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 No, no, I can't talk to broke boy. I can't talk to
Doctor?
Please talk to someone else, cause I can't talk to broke boy. I can't talk to broke boy. I can't talk to broke boys. I can't talk to broke boy. I can't talk to broke boy. No, no, I can't talk to broke boy. I can't talk to. That nigga's crazy. Hopping in, bitch, and I saw it to be. Snakes in the grass, so they harder to see. My brother would give up his life to the O. He told me he'd go be a martyr for me. Said that she ready to corner the 6. I hit up Pauline and charter the P. Ain't really leave, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm riding around in Atlanta with Sav, cause that nigga been going harder than me. Nothing to change, I'm just harder to please. Ferrari is making an SUV. We ain't got a choice, we ordering these. Shout out Noel for recording the V's. He know where this shit about to go. Cause nobody touching the flow. They say you alone at the top, but it's gotta be lonely below. You was getting ready to diss, but don't even mention a hoe. And don't even mention a foe, unless you was trying to go pro.
Whoa, I got more strikes than Adidas.
Yeah, I got the stripes, you fucking bitch.
I don't chase bitches, I leave them.
Hoes screaming like I'm just.
Okay, what is going on, guys? What's going on? It is me again, your girl, Flo, and I have Sin with us today.
Everyone.
Hopefully, you guys have been doing me a favor and checking her out. What is going on, TWI admin? We have Front Porch in the building. Read the Word Roro. We have David M, Hassan, Black Beauty. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, beautiful people? So we are here for another episode of Battle of the Sexes. Now we're going to be here for the long haul, right? It's going to be some long form content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be reviewing a couple of videos, including some Dr. Umar Dust for you guys. Because what would it be? What kind of Saturday night would it be if we didn't do some dust with you tonight? Hey, Hannah, what's going on?
Hi, Hannah, my beautiful sister.
Yes. So, okay, I see you. Yes. So we got some family in the building. It's going to be a really, really good show for you guys today. So hopefully you guys are here for the long haul. Okay. So we're going to start off. We're going to review just some little conversations because, you know, the topic that we're here for is Battle of the Sexes. Lana Love says, oh dear, not him. Well, you know, Dr. Umar is quite the conundrum. You know, I don't know, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay.
We're about to find out, though.
Like, you guys understand why she's a gem? She has no idea who Dr. Umar Johnson is, which is just why. It's perfect. So, we're going to get into it, okay? But we're going to start off with a video. This is by a young man. And I guess I could say that bandits and men who, okay, thank you so much for pointing me in the right direction. Bandits and men who, you know, aren't really looking to have healthy, successful relationships will reject some of the things that he's talking about. So we're going to first off start with this video. And the video called Signs He's Faking Love for You. Right? You guys are probably wondering, well, why do we need to know? You should know when a man's playing you, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you should know if a man is running game on you. But I really do think sometimes men go above and beyond, and they seek the highest limits of audacity so that they can, you know, women that they're interested in them. And so I think this is going to be a nice little video, right? If you guys can do us a favor and hit the like button, we're going to start off watching this one, right?
All right, let's go.
Any comments before we start?
Let's just hear what he has to say.
Yes. All right.
That your man is pretending to love you. And look, if he is doing any of these three, I mean, especially the third one, but if he's doing any of them, do yourself a favor and get out of that toxic relationship. Because why would you want to be in a relationship with someone that pretends to love you but doesn't actually love you? Number one, wandering eyes. We have to touch on this again because so many girls still think that it is completely normal for their man to be walking with them and breaking his neck to check out another girl. That
Okay. Did anybody think that was normal?
I don't know why he thinks that anybody thought that was normal, but no, that's not a normal situation. And there's a more discreet way he can look because everybody is going to look. But breaking your neck to look, we think that's normal? No.
Yeah, it's just a lack of respect for your partner, to definitely not normal. You're right.
It's just not normal.
I think it's a lack of respect for your partner, but just imagine if I saw a fine, glistening man walk by
with tattoos and muscles,
looking good, and my man's right here, and I'm like, ooh, he looks delicious. Like, how disrespectful would that be? So I do think maybe he's talking about younger generations.
Maybe he's talking about Asians.
Is he Asian? What are you talking about? You are on something else. ASAP says, what happened to a woman's intuition when it comes to picking men? Well, what exactly is a woman's intuition? It's like,
can you predict that he's about to break his neck to look at another woman?
Right.
I don't think it works like that, but
I do think some men, though, like, they just are just like they're pigs. They don't really, they think it's in their nature to like look at everything that walks by, and they convince some women that that's normal. But I can't relate to this one because I wish
right, like queens, it's not normal. We're coming here to let you know if your man is breaking his neck, like it's not normal.
Yeah, but like for this one, I'm just trying to understand who the core audience is that would think that it's normal for your man to look at other women in your presence. I mean, do it whenever, like. No, not even. Don't do it anytime. Because if somebody tells me, oh, your man was up there breaking his neck in the mall, that's embarrassing.
I know when I break my neck, I almost fall. Like, I'd be like.
Some women who support staying in dysfunctional relationships. Yeah, I mean.
That makes sense.
I guess so. Make sure you guys hit the like button for us. Let's continue. Let's see what this young man's going to say.
That is not the case. Guys can have enough self-control and respect, because that is disrespectful to say the least. And I'm really speaking from experience here because, like, I have been with girls that I wasn't super into, and I had the wandering eyes. I looked at everything with a heartbeat walking by. But I've also had girls that I was like in love with, and you best believe my eyes were only on her. I did not see any girls around. I didn't even see girls. She was the only girl in my world, the only one I saw. That's how it should be if they really are in love with you. Number two, and this one's gonna be it's gonna tickle someone's testicles. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna be a ball buster right here. The ladies are gonna hear this one and they're gonna realize how trash their man really is. You're doing all the work. Another sign that your man is pretending to love you is he puts in no effort and makes you put on the effort in. Like, that's like, you're the one texting first. You're the one initiating dates. You're the one initiating the sexy time. You're the one that's trying.
And I do think sometimes you can end up in a relationship where maybe it didn't start out that way, but then it phases into where, like, you're the one that's seeking everything out. I think, and that's where it's important. Because we're going to talk about detachment a little bit later, but I think that's where it's important to do, like, take a stock of where you are at, right, in the relationship. Do you feel valued? Do you feel like that person is putting you first? Like, are you getting effort? And I think at some point, if it changes and you're not getting effort, you have to be willing to walk away. You can't just stay there in their mediocrity when they know they didn't do that to get you in the first place. I think the problem is a lot of women, they hold on to that feeling from the beginning. that like hard effort that the man put to get them in the first place.
How would a woman feel? How do you feel like being a queen? You know what I'm saying? That you're the one that's initiating the text message.
But
You're the one.
what if it changes? Like what if
Right, like
you
in the
guys
beginning you weren't like that, and then
let's say
all of
like
a
for the
sudden,
first year before you guys move in together,
mhm.
he's always pursuing you. Then you move in together, and now like you gotta text him. Maybe he feels like because he's around you all the time, you don't gotta put in the same effort.
I'd be cray cray about that. Like,
That's what I'm
excuse
saying.
me?
I will be like that.
Like what? We're not gonna play those kind of face cards.
I do think some men get like complacent and they feel like, oh well, I
I already got her.
Yeah, I don't gotta
Mhm.
do nothing.
Excuse me, David. What did David say? Flo?
David says
Mhm.
dates are a waste of time. And David, the quality of women that you're gonna attract that don't require dates,
Is the ones
that's
you're gonna get. It's just
that's
that's all we could say.
right.
Those are the ones that you're gonna get.
And that applies to any man who's getting a woman that he doesn't have to court. The quality that you're gonna get is going to be what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So, but let's continue. I do want to hear him out. He's just a young man, so I think he's sounding very reasonable in his reasoning. I do think David, you're not going to get a date that way. You might get a sucky $5, but
Or maybe we should ask David, what do you mean by that? Why do you feel like dates are a waste of time? Maybe other men,
maybe. I mean, this isn't therapy.
just drop
but
it in.
David,
Yeah,
but
just
David, if you want to tell us, David, why you feel like if she requires dates, it's not about you anymore.
Oh Lord.
See, this is why I don't want to waste my time. on
Okay,
that.
let's just listen to the video.
Yes.
I can't believe he just
trying to get it on. And even then, they still put zero effort in or even like make you feel wanted in the slightest. And yet you're still here doing everything you can to get his attention. The man is pretending to love you. If he tells you I love you, but he puts no effort into you, he is pretending to love you. And number 3, and this one, I don't know if it's so much pretending to love as it is just the sign of a narcissist, but I want to just bring it back down because this one's serious and this one's gonna hurt. But number 3 is the lack of accountability for anything they do and then flipping it onto you. So if they do anything wrong or if you do anything wrong, it's
Oh, are you guys experiencing interruptions?
always your fault. And they will always
Do you think was this
Yeah.
skipping? Can somebody in the chat let me know if it's skipping? It feels like it's skipping.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like it is. All right, we're gonna keep it going. So
make excuses and then make themselves the victim. They never take accountability for their actions. There's just obviously so much lack of love in that, but it's also where you got to be very careful because you can find yourself easily manipulated and just super lost in a toxic relationship if the guy you're with does that.
4 signs a man is pretending to love you, and don't get confused by the last one. Let's get right into it. His words doesn't match his actions. I say before, and I'm going to say it again. His words does not match his action. That is a clear way to tell if a man is pretending to love you. He's like, oh, baby, I love you.
and that's a good point right there, right? Because I do think part of a man's like way of showing you that he actually cares about you is by making promises and keeping them, following through with it. And if he's not following through with it, then that should be enough evidence to tell you like he really doesn't care. Because he'll really just tell you anything. Black Beauty says, this is my friend Sylvia.
Hi, Black Beauty. How are you? Mwah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yes, she's a whole ball of fun. And actually, when I told her what I do like on YouTube, she was like, I love that. And I was like, that's great. And so she's going to be doing content with me more. ASAP says, women call themselves queens, but the majority of them are just court jesters. No, I'm going to take a page out of your book.
Mhm.
Why do you say women are majority court jesters? What makes you believe that? Is it your experience? Maybe you're attracting court jester women?
I love it for such
Just,
that.
I'm just
I
asking.
know it's conversation because it's like so crazy that you would even come on here and say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's hear some more from this dark skinned Odell Beckham.
You know, I
You
like
so
it.
much. I want to be there for you. You're my everything. But then go do something else. Like, how clear can it be? It's obvious that he doesn't really love you. If a man loves you, his words will match his actions. His words would be powerful. It's not just going to be a bunch of bullshit that's just spreading all over the place. Believe me when I tell you that. Number two, he doesn't open up to you. If a man truly loves you, his heart will open up to you. You're not going to be this huge giant wall blocking. Nobody trying to climb that wall. Like, he'll be easy. He'll just open up to you. Baby, you know, you will know. Okay? Number three, he pretends to love you. He never apologizes. A man who truly loves you will apologize when he's wrong, take accountability for his actions, and come up with solutions so he doesn't make that mistake again.
You know, and that's the biggest part of it, right? If he really wants to be with you, if he really cares, he is going to take those steps to change any behavior that he thinks is causing a problem. If he feels like, maybe you having a bad attitude, or maybe he thinks he will change that. He will work on it and be like, hey, I think I need to work on my attitude. Or he'll be like, hey, maybe I'm a little uncomfortable with your attitude. If you work on yours, I'll work on mine. Like he'll be trying to compromise so that you guys can stay together versus just being like, oh, I don't give a F for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like when guys say like they don't care or they don't give a F, they're really
Or
telling you.
if they're not emotionally there.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, like for me, what I had to understand was there's a lot of gracefully broken men out there that comes with so much trauma. Like I'm going to say that sometimes they're a little bit more emotionally disconnected than they should be.
Yeah.
But it's only because they don't know how to be. So you have to also be able to recognize that part too, whether that person is completely emotionally disconnected or partly emotionally disconnected. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, for me, it's just like, I feel like as an adult woman, who's almost in my 30s, right? Months away. I think that we should be able to meet men that we don't have to like build up. And I'm not saying like it can't be a man who's going through something, but if he doesn't even like know how to acquire the functional skills
to
be a good partner,
yeah,
then like he's just not suitable for dating.
At this age, he's not suitable for dating.
Yeah.
Like if we were at 19, 20 years old trying to figure out together, that's one thing. But at our age right now, if a man is not suitable for dating, if you're not emotionally here, if you're not financially somewhat stable, if you don't have an idea of how to say sorry, if you don't have an idea how to hold yourself accountable for situations,
how to treat somebody with like, consideration, respect,
consistency.
Yeah, showing like consistent interest and admiration for. And it goes both ways. Like sometimes men think when you're saying you want like constant like showing that they're attracted and they want to be with you, because no woman wants to be thinking like, oh, does he actually like want to be with me still?
I'm confused. Am I in a relationship or am I not in a relationship?
Right. Like
as
a woman, you want to know like he's thinking about you. He's not like, oh, when's
the constant
as soon as you walk away, oh, the next booty that pops up. Like,
the biggest thing is that women need constant reassurance, and men nowadays are saying we don't like that. We don't like that you need constant reassurance. But
men actually need constant reassurance too.
That's true.
But theirs are in different, more subtle ways, right? They want you to affirm their masculinity, their leadership by talking to them, even if they're taking
That's true. That's a good point, Flo. Yeah, because they constantly want you to be the follower. They constantly want to let you allow them to be the leader. Right. That's reassurance. In all English, that is reassurance in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
just
right.
like women seek reassurance by having the man like you know what I mean, praise her femininity and things like that.
ASAP.
David M says weak men need constant reassurance. I just think, David, that you guys have a different I understanding of it, because it's needing a woman to follow your leadership for you to feel like a man, like all of that all is part of
Reassurance.
yeah. It's just for you guys, it's different in that like you don't see it that way, but that's what it is. That's what you're seeking. You need her to follow you as a woman.
That's called reassurance.
Yeah.
Flo made a really good point. I'm sorry, David, if you don't like it, but that's the truth. That's your form. That's a man's form of reassurance. Oh, JDM Beats had a whole lot to say, Flora.
He said, in my 20s, I was a menace. My dad and grandpa were both players. I broke that mold. Now I'm learning and loving myself. I'm ready to find a nice woman to spend time with. But you know, the thing though, JDM Beats, is now you expect a woman to accept you now that you've been ran through.
No, he said that he broke the mold, he's learning, and he's loving himself. And he's ready to find.
Meaning
he's in his 20s.
But what I'm saying is, if he's referencing his dad and grandpa, that means in some way he entered like the field of dating in that player mindset, and then he realized, no, I don't want to carry this on.
Right. So
he's probably been kind of run through. I hate like
I don't want to put it like that because he's holding himself accountable, and I like the fact that he's able to come and speak his truth. But I also want JDM Beats to know that Flora and I have a semi-dating meetup. If you're interested, just, inbox.
We're not inviting people from this.
No?
I mean, if they want to come to Rhode Island on March 5th or something, sure.
Right.
No.
Not on the channel,
you would have to be at that location.
That's true. But we never know.
Needing validation. Stop seeking validation, fellas. David M., but you're not going to stop getting men to seek that, because otherwise, what are they seeking? Men's validation? Other men's
That's what I was trying to say. Like, if you're not down for how the women is handling it, are you okay with seeking men's validation?
It seems like that's what they want now. But if you guys want each other, then you can just say that. Just tell women that's what you want. So, like, we don't value women's opinions or anything anymore. We just want to listen to men all day. If you just tell women that, I think they would get it. But anyways, let's continue with this video.
Listen, if the man you're talking to never apologizes about anything, he feels like he's always right, he does not truly love you. And if he does his last one, then he has no self-control. He openly flirts with other people in front of you too. Oh, I'm just a natural flirt. It's just my personality. That's disrespectful, okay? Don't be flirting with all these people. Eyes wandering all over the place when you're with your wife, with your girlfriend.
And this is where I have to wonder, like, what have some women allowed men to think? Because I wish a ninja would, like, I don't want to say that, but I didn't want to turn it on for a second, but I wish a man would flirt with somebody in front of me, like, beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. Like, where
I can't even chime in on that, to be honest with you, because it's like, I don't know. I hope you guys can feel my vibration. Like, sitting with you and you're flirting with another woman in front of me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the African would go.
I just think that man is welcoming whatever fisticuffs into his life possible. Why would he be doing that, Right. But anyways, all right, let's listen to the man. These shams.
Don't do that. They don't truly love you for doing that stuff. They're pretending. I'm telling you. Come on now.
3 things a guy does when he's pretending to love you. Some of you know exactly how hard it is to tell if a guy is pretending to love you when you're in a relationship with them. But there's always going to be some inconsistency between his actions and what he says. So here are the signs that your man is faking his love for you. Number one, he is only affectionate when he wants something from you. Real affection is not based on what someone can get from you. So if he's only being sweet because he wants money or a favor or something in the bedroom, then that's basically a transaction and a sign that he's not actually invested into your relationship. The second sign that he's pretending to love you is if he has wandering eyes. So if you notice him checking out every girl when you're...
So that's a pretty constant one, right? If
It's
you,
the same guy.
huh?
Right?
Is it the same guy?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the same guy.
Mhm.
Sometimes you like people look alike. I don't know if that was the same guy, but yeah. Yeah, it's straight disrespect. We do it because our ego, it boosts our confidence. It's basically telling your woman, you see how lucky you are, I could easily get another. You know, honestly, I don't know why men think that's like a good thing to do. Because women can do it and we can do that better.
And we could definitely do that better. It doesn't make any sense to look how lucky you are.
Right.
No, sir.
You can have
No. You're not the prize again.
You can have a bandit in
You gotta
tears.
pull this out for them.
Right.
Men that just want to be baddies.
Oh, it's all the way over there, guys. Men want to be the baddies.
Like, no, we can definitely do it better. There's no way. We can go out and every guy that comes up to us, we say yes.
Well, it's not even just that, or just the volume of people who would come up to us versus them. You know, because men think they're all that in a bag of chips until they see you in public and them in public. And more men are going to approach me than women are going to approach you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. And you will be sick out of air. You see, you know, and that's just the law of attraction, right? Women tend to attract, you know, a man can be hideous and still go after a woman, but a woman who's hideous and unkept isn't going to have, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not the same. A man being inconsistent means his game is not structured and doesn't have a plan. Not even just that. I think that when men are inconsistent, they're telling you that they don't value you.
Right.
Because when they want something, they will become consistent. They'll
Very
be the most
consistent.
organized men in the planet at that point. Some of these men will become CEOs, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Fortune 500 engineers and shit, like behind trying to get.
But it's true. That is the truth.
Yeah, so anyways, let's hear some more. I think this might be the same guy, but a different video.
with him, then that means he, one, doesn't respect you, and two, doesn't have enough self-discipline. And the third sign that he's pretending to love you is he does not prioritize you or your needs. He might claim that he loves you through his words, but his actions and what he does for you definitely reflect the opposite. So if you see these signs, or you see the gaps in between his words and his behaviors, and it's not adding up, then that means he does not really love you.
I have 6 subtle signs that he's faking his love for you, okay? That a man is faking their love for you, all right? So number 1 is excessive PDA. What's PDA? Public displays of affection. They're doing too much. They're overdoing it. They're all over you. They're smothering you, all right? It's excessive. It's not subtle. It's not genuine. It's an act, and it's not real. It's not authentic, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, there are no special moments. If a man loves a woman, he plans special moments in her life every chance he gets. Sometimes some men, like myself, or there are many other men out there, they'll do it every day. Every day is a special moment with his woman, all right? And he let her know from the gate that you're special to me, so I'm creating a special moment. That's number 2. Number 3, there are no serious discussions. Hear me, this is utterly dangerous, yet utterly important. If it's being done, you need to understand a serious discussion has to happen all the time between you two, because if you're serious about each other, the discussions need to be serious. An example, future planning. How do you feel? What am I doing? What am I not doing? Etc. There are no serious discussions, all right? That's number 3. Number 4, it's a power game. A power game. Narcissism 101. He want to take power, abuse power, manipulate power. It's a power struggle for him. Many women out there these days, and men, But many women are dealing with, dating, and probably married a narcissistic man, and they're catching hell right now. Got to be careful with that. All right. That's number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Number 5. You don't know much about each other. Okay. You don't know much about each other. This is why you have to be careful with speed dating. I'll speak on that later on. God spare my life. Speed dating. Y'all don't know nothing about each other, but y'all official. Y'all a thing. You jump from first gear to 6th gear. You're in overdrive and you don't even know him. Got to be careful with that. Don't be led by your flesh. All right. And the final one is sex is the only thing that's keeping y'all together. That's why you catching hell. 6 subtle signs that he thinking his love for you. I'll fake like I'm in love with you if I can keep getting it. I'll keep driving the car if I can sample it. If I keep test driving it and I don't have to make the purchase, I don't have to buy it, I'll keep doing it. And many women out there right now are with a man that they should not even be with because they keep letting them test drive the car. You keep having sex with him. That's the only thing that's stopping him from buying the purchase. Well, making the purchase and buying a car. He's not going to go all the way with you. He's not going to marry you, not going to lock you down. He's not serious about you because if he keeps sampling the milk, why do we need to buy the cow?
Now, here's my one thing, okay? He's not necessarily wrong. If you lay it all out on the table, a man will take it and eat it up and leave what he doesn't want and then walk away when he's all done, right?
Facts.
He got a meal out of you. You were a lick, a snack. But I do think when you meet the right man, sometimes things will appear more like, it will appear like you're giving too much. So I think it's like these conversations where we're trying to distinguish between men who are trying to hit a lick versus men who actually want you. It's like, it's kind of a nasty way to be, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true. I think it's a nasty way to be. But again, some of these things you won't discover that until you've given yourself up.
Yeah.
Until you've already given your flower and all that good stuff. So,
but that's what I'm saying. They're telling you like, oh, if you give it up, why you gotta buy the milk if he got the cow? Why he gotta get the cow if he got the milk? I mean, it's like these types of advice are just so surface level. Like, if you're a 30-year-old and you feel like you can't be with a woman because you slept with her, you can't marry her because you got her already. Like, what type of relationship are you in? Like, who are you dating these days that you don't have sex with them?
That's what I'm saying before you get married. Can you imagine just getting married to somebody that
just because?
Oh my God.
Hey, Shiesty Bum, what's going on, boo? This is Sugar Bum's evil twin.
Okay.
Hey, Shiesty. But yeah, I just feel like there's too many, like, I feel like men who put up all these, like, random barriers, they don't want women. Like, they want to marry a man.
You won't know. Seriously, you won't know what you seriously gotten yourself into until you experience, explore. Like, and once you've experienced and explored, then it's like, okay, now I'm with the program. Now I understand.
Yeah, I just like at the same time, I'm just thinking like, what type of man am I gonna be with where like we're not having sex?
Like I'm not testing something out,
and then like come to find out we get married and like you don't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's a waste of time, and I just feel like why are we even pretending that we're not adults? Like you can very easily say you don't want to be with somebody. You don't have to like play these weird games. I think as an adult, once you get into like more adult relationships, yeah, you shouldn't just be busting it down like on the first date.
Not to everybody now, Queen. Hold on.
Not to everybody.
Not to everybody. You were talking about taking somebody serious, being in a relationship.
That's what I'm saying, with somebody, but when they break it down like this, they make it seem like that relationship, the seriousness of it doesn't matter because there's no ring or something. Like, I don't know. Men are kind of weird about some stuff like this because I don't think they live by this. But let's continue.
All right. So those are 6 total signs he's faking his love for you. Bye.
Signs a man is pretending to love you. So why does a man pretend to love? Well, because he wants to avoid being lonely, or he likes to manipulate you, or just because he sucks and he needs you for validation. So signs he's pretending to love you. Number 1, he keeps bringing up his ex.
So maybe he just keeps talking about how awful she was in the relationship, or he keeps comparing the two of you by saying how much better you are or worse you are, or whatever he's blabbering about. It's a pretty bad sign when he keeps bringing her up instead of just leaving her in the past. Because, like, why do you still need to be thinking about her when he's got you now? Number two, he holds a grudge over you. How is he going to hold something over your head and
I mean, and that's the biggest sign. Like, if you're with somebody who's always talking about their ex, like,
I wouldn't be able to deal with someone that constantly keep talking about their ex.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
you're slow.
yeah. Then you should just go to your ex. I have no idea why your ex is your ex.
Yeah, and that's a bad sign that they haven't let go of the relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, some people will think, oh, they're just trying to, like, they have PTSD. They're trying to, make sure they don't find that in their next relationship. No, then don't be dating.
No, yeah. If you're not ready to date, just don't date.
Right.
But there's no not letting go of your ex and constantly keep talking about your ex.
David M says, I can't take a woman serious on the first date. I don't know you. See, and that's why I think you're kind of slow, David. And not because I want to be mean, but obviously you don't know the person. But if you've asked this woman on a date, that's because you want to get to know her. And if you're automatically going into this like, oh, I'm not taking you serious, then
unless he's dating without any intentions.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get what you're gonna get out of women, which is some of them are probably you're a clown. Maybe they'll actually play into it, and when they realize you're playing around, they'll just check out. And it's like, what's the point in that? What's the point? Are you just dating for fun, for theatrics?
Now I'm starting to wonder who's fronting the bill. Is it the chick or is it you?
Right. That's our date.
Like, who's paying for it?
play the victim for why he can't try or be romantic or work things out with you? And even worse, he might make that the reason or an excuse for why he can treat you bad and do mean shit to you instead. And then he'll tell you that he loves you when he obviously does not. And number three, he is intentionally picking fights with you all the time. So if your boy just starts blowing up on you over like eating the last half of his sandwich or making the wrong turn or putting pineapple on pizza where it absolutely belongs, that's when you know it's time to go and that he stopped loving you.
3 signs a man is pretending to love a woman, part 2. But Jake, why would a man ever pretend to love a woman? It just comes down to the reason he pretends to love you is because he is using you. And here are the signs that he is pretending to love you. Sign number 1 that your man is pretending to love you is that he's got the wandering eye, meaning he's checking out every girl that walks by. And that kind of behavior is honestly just disrespectful, because if he doesn't...
Can you guys hear me? Well, all of them are saying the same thing about the wandering eyes. If a man loves you, he's not going to be looking all over at every quote-unquote baddie. Right? Because I do think baddie is subjective anyway. So if he's looking at every woman that walks in, then he has like zero respect for you. None. And just like I said, if you see, as a woman, you see an attractive man, then you're like, ooh, he looked delicious, like right in front of you.
How is he gonna feel?
Right. There's no respect there. And I would be the first one to admit that means you have no respect. So
you're worth having a little self-control in the little things. What makes you think he's going to have self-control for bigger issues down the road? And sign number 2 that your man is pretending to love you is that when it's business time, when it's time to get down and dirty, get a little freaky, well, he views it as a chore and not something that he's excited to do. Like, it's just something to like check off the list to make you happy and whatever, so you stop complaining. But he doesn't initiate it. He isn't into it, and you can feel the disconnect start to happen in the bedroom. And sign number 3, he takes no accountability for anything going on in the relationship that's bad. Like, he would rather just chalk it off as, well, I only did this, or I made this mistake, or I everything's all messed up because of your bad attitude. And he doesn't actually, he's not a leader. He's not owning up to his own mistakes. So that's a big sign that your man is pretending to love you.
3 signs your man is faking his love in the relationship. Number 1, he's got the wandering eyes, checking out girls even when he's with you. Now this is a respect thing. This is a lack of self-control thing. This is a I don't have eyes just for my woman thing. And before you say it's impossible not to look, I get it. I've been there as a guy from a guy's perspective. I've been with girls in the past that I wasn't truly in love with, and I looked, I had wandering eyes, but I was like,
So these guys are talking to men. So that's their core audience. I was trying to figure out like, who can they possibly be trying to talk to right now with this, some of this, right? Are they talking to women? Are they giving dating advice? Oh, the camera's on. Sorry. I noticed you going and I was like, oh wait, the camera's back.
It's just Welch's people.
But I don't know. I just, for me, I feel like
if you're not into someone, just don't be into the person. There's no reason to waste anybody's time.
We're too grown for
like,
that.
Seriously.
Like, just tell someone, hey, like you're really
you're just
good
not it.
Right. Like,
you're not it.
I like you for intercourse and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Don't waste your time.
And I'm going to take the moment right now. All the people that probably thought they were it for me, you're not it. You're not it. If you're not here with me right now, if you don't have like a place with me right now, and you know you should know your place, you're not it.
Not
so I don't want to. I don't want to sugarcoat it.
Service announcement.
I don't want
to public service announcement.
I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to be mean. You're not it. I'm so sorry. And let's move forward.
Niggas only around for convenience.
Yo,
I got some media assets for you guys. Okay. All right. Let's go to this video.
I was also with somebody before that I really, really was in love with, and I only had eyes for her. So it's not impossible. It's hard, but it's not impossible. Number two, they only act all loving with you when they're around family. This is because he just wants to keep everybody happy. His family might like you, your family might like him, and so he's trying to put on a show. But right before you saw them, he was being a jerk. Right after, he was being a jerk. So if he's only loving you for show, that is a sign that he is faking his love for you. And number three, his algorithm is full of half-naked girls. He's just scrolling through on the feed, just looking at all these girls, all these random girls, and you're having to share his attention with all these strangers. And that's not fair to you.
And let me just tell you something. There is a pathology to the men that they have a bunch of asses and titties all over their timeline. You know, there's something very incel about that. You know, very beta male, very like
very beta.
Yeah, very beta.
Giving.
Right.
Men, they want to be baddies.
They want to be the baddies. Okay, that's what it feels like.
You want to be a baddie, that's what you're gonna
do. Emotional damage. Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, sorry. Too many bloopers. But yeah, you know, and the rest of this video is sort of just like a turn around. They're all saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got a wandering eye. If he's not taking accountability, if he's not working through problems with you, it's all signs that he does not care about you. He doesn't value your relationship, right? He doesn't take you serious. Those should be common sense, but I understand sometimes we get caught in the whirlwind of a relationship and we don't realize what's going on.
That's true.
All right, let's move on. We're going to move on to how detachment trigger a man's emotions. And this is by a very popular YouTuber. I forget his name. I'm going to get in a second.
Isn't
it? His channel name is Mindful Attraction 2.0. And I think he does really good videos. I've seen his videos on other topics, but this one is about detachment. And I think he's probably one of the best to describe this because he doesn't talk about it just like, oh, just ignore your man's text messages all day. You know?
Right.
Like you don't care about
some of these things that you guys are telling women to do and telling men to do, it's kind of impossible. Like, how do I just ignore your text messages all day for real? Like, I don't want to pick up the phone and be like,
right.
Come on.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, I think those are really unrealistic, but I think he does a really, 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 really good job of breaking this down for what it is, right? About how you have to be willing to walk away when a relationship is no longer suiting you, right?
That's true.
That's the detachment. And he talks about grieving in a way that actually finally makes sense.
Oh, we gotta listen to this.
We're gonna.
Sorry, Flo.
No, go ahead.
Before we get into it, I wanted to take the time and tell Joshua, thank you so much for subscribing. I did get the message that you left, the comment that you left, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yes, Josh. I appreciate you for supporting my great friend.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, she's going to be a hit in this dust ball sector and in many sectors to come on YouTube. Honestly, Sin is like one of the most fun people ever. So, we're going to be doing some more fun stuff around here. David M says your mic is crackling a little bit. Like snap, crackle, and pop, or
crispy treats.
Rice Krispie treats or snap, crackle, and pop. Let me put you guys down here and see if that makes a difference. But yes, we have individual mics. We're gonna be doing more content and things like that. But anyways, let's get into this video because I really think that Mindful Attraction 2.0, they get down the best about how you really have to be willing to walk away from a man. Sometimes you gotta show him, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean just leaving because of every argument, but I'm saying when they really cross boundaries, when things really, really get hard.
And you have to go.
There's no respect, there's no love. Then, that's when things really do have to move forward. You have to leave, you have to find something else, whatever. So this is where you would practice attachment. So let's get into it, guys.
Nothing will put the fear of God in a guy more than a woman who's able to detach. The best type of woman, I am telling you, this is literally the best type of woman to date, is the woman who loves hard, but also has the capacity to suffer through detachment. Meaning, they can love you with a love that is painful, but they're also willing to detach themselves from you because of how high their self-esteem. And this is great because this triggers the toxic men to expose themselves. If they sense that you're able to walk away, that you have some conditions, that if you do this, I'll leave you, that my love is not conditional, the detachment, the peace that emanates from you, like literally radiates as like a kamehameha and pushes the wrong guys away. The problem is that pushing them away, they'll say you're boring, right? They'll say you don't love hard, you're detached. When in reality, they want you to get attached quickly and not be able to walk away to control you. And don't forget, we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK. And if you guys want to be able to apply these strategies and talk to me on the phone about your situation, click on the description down below where it says Work with Father Alex, and using the coupon code BLACK, you can get 20% off my coaching calls. Let's continue with the video. That to me is the perfect middle ground. And to put it into more preciseness, it boils down to this concept. High intention, low attachment. What does it mean? The high intention is the part that you have the capacity.
And this is a really great way to break this down, right? High intention meaning you actually are seeking something real, right? You're seeking love, marriage, commitment, things like that, right? And so because you have that really high intention, you will be able to detach quickly, because you don't want to be attached to those things that can keep you in a bad relationship, that can keep you away from somebody who will actually commit to you and things like that.
Actually love you for real.
Yeah. Look at David M says, sounds like playing games. I would say that it's more playing games to, be deciding, hey, if somebody sleeps with me, I'm not going to marry them.
Wasn't David the one that came with the word broad? What was it? David.
I don't know, maybe.
Who was saying broad the last time we were?
I don't know. We'll see if he does it this time. If he does it this time, we'll send you to the shadow realm, David M. because we don't want any of that here. But I think he's describing detachment like if you have a high need and want to be in a long term relationship, then you should actually be willing to walk away from more people because
Mm-hmm.
less men, less whatever your opposite is, whatever you want to be with, the less they're going to actually come with that. There's going to be a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people willing to play games with you just to get a taste, just to see who you are, just to even take advantage sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, you have to be willing to walk away because sometimes you might meet somebody that you're physically attracted to. You like their personality, but like they have something beneath the surface that is not trustworthy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
good. And you might be attached to them. And you have to know how to say, hey, no, this good sex or, really not romantic, but really exciting relationship, I'm willing to walk away from that
Mm-hmm.
in order to preserve my self esteem and
My
my
mental.
value. Yeah, my mental, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's continue. Any thoughts? Any other thoughts?
No, we can continue listening.
To be attached. You have the capacity to love. You have the capacity to feel feelings, right? A lot of people are either or, where they're very attached and have no, and they have high intention, high attachment, or high attachment and high intention. Very rarely do you meet people who can equally want you, but equally be willing to walk away from you. As a guy, that tells me that the attention that you give me is something of value. Because nothing lowers your value than a guy realizing that another guy lower your value. Reputation matters. And if they know that you begged, that you cried, that you acted pathetically, the attention that you give me is not going to feel that well. Honestly, like I remember this girl who kept telling me that every guy that was with her cheated on her and left her. And I know I could be toxic, but hearing that, I was like, is there something I'm missing? Like why she legit looked like a fucking mafia's wife. Like a mafioso's wife, like a Mexican mafioso's wife, legit stunning. But then when she said that, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, why is that? Well, it's human nature to not value what other people don't value. If they know somebody didn't value you, why should I value you? It's like, if I know you bought this for $10, why are you trying to sell it to me for $20, $30, $50? It's kind of like that. Like a guy wants a woman who can love completely, but also detach. High intention, low attachment, right? Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, when you meet people, you have to be grounded in reality. You have to understand that things end. It's under this delusion that causes people to go crazy because you're delusional. You are imagining that this relationship will be forever. And because you imagine that, your emotional reaction is such that if it doesn't last forever, it's almost like the whole world exploding into smithereens. But if you, from the start of the relationship, have a realistic understanding of how things truly are, that eventually things will end, your emotional response to situations ending will be with a lot less intensity. How do I know that? Well, because in Buddhism, we call this object impermanence or anicca, meaning this too shall pass. In Buddhism, when they say that whenever you think something's not, whenever you're under the delusion of permanency, when things change, you grieve because you feel like things changing a little bit, it's like losing it. Well, what you have to understand is that when you meditate and you observe, I'm checking my food, and you observe the sensations of the breath, and you observe emotions pass and go, you observe the desire to stop meditating, you observe the desire to do this and to that and do that. And if you stay still, you will notice through observation that things come and go, and that your desire to stop meditating arises and passes away, arises and passes away. And the more you see things arise and pass away, the more you start to see the reality behind everything, that everything is impermanent. But love has a hardening aspect that will make you think it's always going to be forever. And the reason why that is because you are afraid.
And that's a really important thing. I think being able to understand that sometimes relationships are going to end. It's not the end of the world. Somebody who you thought was your best friend or who you thought was going to be your soulmate, they might suddenly be out of your life. And although that's tragic, it's still important to remember that things can move forward. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes what we do in our own lives is we catastrophize. We tell ourselves, hey, I thought I was going to marry this person, or I thought this person was going to be, or I thought I was going to be married for the rest of my life, and we're getting divorced 5 years later, 10 years later, right? There's that permanence that we were just not ready to let go of a lot of times. I think that can set us back in life, right? We have this, we're not able to resist, the need for our life to go a certain way. And that can be damaging. That can be damaging to your self-esteem. So it's really important to be flexible. Give yourself time to get closer to what it is you're looking for. Like, okay, let's say you want a knight in shining armor. Start by having expectations for the people you date, right? Being willing to walk away from situations that aren't benefiting you, that aren't, desirable to you. It's all about a process. You're not just going to immediately go from dating Pookies to dating, men who treat you like Juliet. So let's continue a little bit more in this video.
You are afraid of losing the person. You are afraid of confronting your emotions. So because of that, you rather believe that it's going to be there forever. Because understanding that it's not going to last forever will cause you to have to deal with that reality. And a lot of the times, love is running away from reality. That's what love is a lot of the times, right?
And a lot of the times, being needy and creepy, it is running away from reality. You know the truth. You know they're not good for you. But because accepting that truth will cause you to have to deal with uncontrollable emotions, you start begging, you start chasing, you start trying to control him so that you can control your emotions. And people sense that. And this attachment you have will cause this person to use that attachment as leverage. And he slowly but surely will start to take control over the relationship. And when I mean take control, that means that you completely delegate how happy you feel based on their reaction. Your happiness does not come from within. And because of that, you have no detachment. Guys are hypocrites. Guys want a woman they can have. Guys want a woman that want them, but also a woman that doesn't want them. And the middle ground is a woman that loves you, but that also, if you fuck up, I'll walk away from you. That's just the truth.
So we have understanding that things will not last forever. So from the beginning, you have to understand that and prepare yourself for the inevitable, right? That's why with Buddhism, in Buddhism, you learn to die, right? This is actually very interesting. Is that when you start to detach, you become non-reactionary, meaning your reactions lower. They're not as intense.
And because men are naturally insecure creatures, your lack of reaction is going to be noticeable. Like it'll announce itself like an annunciation, like a thunderbolt. People can sense when there's something off with you. Now, if they don't sense that you have created a little bit of distance, if they don't sense a little detachment, that's a red flag. That means they're not paying attention, or do they give a fuck? This works on people that genuinely like you and are paying attention, or toxic people who are always always paying attention whether or not they still have power over you, right? And so you can get mixed results with these, but you'll know the toxic people get aggressive. right? The healthy people get romantic. They'll sense that now you're a little distant, you're not calling as much, you're not texting as much. Rather than get controlling, they'll get romantic. They'll start to do things for you. They'll give you a gift. Why? To get a reaction out of you, to see a happy face. You see, when you're always fucking happy, why do I have to impress you? You're like a golden retriever. A little treat here and there keeps you happy. Having that sensation that you are easy to please, but also a little bit difficult to please, but not impossible, like a flow state where it's not hard, but hard enough above your threshold. This keeps a guy in a romantic state of mind. And also it keeps him in a sexually competitive state because he senses maybe you're pulling away because you found someone else. Who knows? Maybe you're a little distant because of me, because of something that I did. A genuinely nice guy would try to find out what's wrong and start acting more romantic. And as long as you reward his behavior, it's not a bad thing. The difference is that toxic people will get aggressive.
An opaque wall between you and them. And you can almost sense that they're acting. But the truth is that when people like you, they show different nonverbal cues. They show more emotions, right? And what happens is that we backward rationalize that people who are very expressive, like not expressive in terms of charisma, but who express anxiety through the twitchiness, the movement, the subtle little quick intense reactions, we just don't respect. And when you genuinely detach, it's the craziest thing. This is honestly a psychological thing. When you genuinely detach in your mind, literally everything changes. Imagine this. Imagine you're fighting someone and you're scared to die. Okay. Now imagine that same opponent fighting you, but now you're not afraid to die. Now you're fighting to keep your family alive. Do you think there's going to be a difference? There is going to be a difference. The difference is that now you're not afraid. You are detached. You're not afraid of suffering. You're not afraid of feeling pain. Sorry, the dog is here. You're not afraid. You're not afraid of suffering. You're not afraid of experiencing pain. And so because of that, you become fearless. You become strong. And it's almost like old people, when they get old, they start talking shit. They don't give a fuck, right? There was this one guy, I saw a video on YouTube where he was like, do you think black people are lazy? And he was like, yeah, of course, they're all lazy. He was crazy. He was like racist, but he was so blatant and so honest about his racism. He just didn't give a fuck that when you read the comment section, black people are like, I like him. He's invited to the cookout, right? Detachment has a quality that causes people to respect you more, causes people to want to be around you more because they know you're not filtered. They know you're genuine, right? And so that's one thing. Now, the next thing is that it causes a guy to chase more, right? Guys want you to want them, right?
You know, as much as I believe in all this like science behind it, I do think that like a guy's gonna chase who he wants to chase.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, no lie. It all sounds really good. However,
hello, can you guys hear us? Can you hear us? Let me see. I think the mic might have died. No, mine is still on. Hold on. Can you guys hear the audio? Let me know if you guys can hear. Yeah, it says. Look, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's on webcam now. Yeah, so that is webcam. Oh, it's supposed to be this thing. Mm-hmm. And it must have died. Okay, guys. Away. I don't know. Okay, you guys can hear. Okay. You can hear. All right, sorry. I just wanted to make sure because it was saying audio disconnected. But yes, I think for the most part, like you shouldn't. I think if a man wants to be with you, he's gonna do what he needs. I think sometimes people will try to use the word chasing you like literally, like, oh, you don't want to be with him, you're running away. But that's not really what it means. It means has turned off. Sorry, guys. It means the guy's willing to stand up and do the pursuing, like asking you on a date, courting you, things like that. I think that's what I mean when we say that. Okay, yeah, I knew it cut out. I don't know. I think maybe the motherboard of this mic died. I'm gonna have to work on this in the future. But I hope before that it was all good. The audio. Now we're going off the webcam, which is so there. Can you guys hear now? If you guys can hear us nice and clear, just let me know in the chat with a 1 or a thumbs up, whichever would be fine. The motherboard is dead, so. Okay, yes, you guys hear. All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Joshua put a 1. That's a good one.
Yeah, yes. I forgot to double check that the things were fully charged. I think the mics weren't fully charged. They were charged until just now, which was like an hour and 20 minutes, which is good.
And it's so crazy. Like, why do I have to play those games? Like, I'm going to show you that I'm going to detach from you. Even though I'm crazy in love with you, I'm still just going to show you that I'm willing to detach from you. I'm willing to say, fuck you. I'm going to leave you in case if anything happens. Da, da, da. Why do we have to waste all that energy?
Because I think sometimes men or people in general, like, if it's something that's too accessible, they're going to feel like, well, I can have it at any moment, so I don't have to prioritize her. I don't have to do the right things to keep her, especially her feeling comfortable and, you know, feeling like she has a place in the relationship. You know, I think a lot of it depends on that too. What do you think?
I don't know. I just really don't want to play those games. We either rock or no, we're not.
Right? They want you to want them. Or better yet, they want you to need them. Right? And so, what are the easiest tricks to really fuck with a guy and not go to hell? Is to show him that you're able to recover from pain. That you're able to feel, to be attached to something and walk away from it. When you don't give that impression to someone, they don't have a reason to win you over. It's like Democratic, what do you call it? Democrat politicians in the United States. Unfortunately for my brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters, they don't cater to them because they know they're all going to vote for them, right? They cater more to independent voters, right? Independent voters are ones that are not either or. And because you're an independent voter, they have to work a little bit harder to convince you. Because why? You are detached. There's more effort. They can't read your mind exactly. When you are detached, when you are completely attached and unwilling and not having the emotional capacity to walk away, there's a certain level of fear, a certain level of insecurity that you show at the thought of losing the person, right? Now, I'm not telling you guys to be a bunch of Terminators.
So I hear all of that, right? And I don't know if there's anybody like that, like me out there, but I'm one of those people. Once you showed me for such a period of time that you can get rid of me or you can replace me or you have no emotional attachment to me, that doesn't make me want you more. You see what I'm saying? At some point, I'm going to snap out of it and just, all right, I get what I get out of you for right now until you're replaced by something else that I'm into. You see what I'm saying? So what happens when the guy snaps out of the game that you're playing, that emotional game that you're playing?
Well, like, I don't think it's an emotional game, right? Because I think people are perceiving it as like, oh, you're willing to walk away. But I think the fact of the matter is, if you make it clear that you want somebody let's say for a long-term relationship, you want to have a family and kids, and they keep playing around with you, they just want some booty, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, they're playing a game, right? They know exactly what it really is with you, and they're still choosing to approach you like that.
What 80s said?
He said if you're playing that detached game, peace, because if one foot emotionally, but I don't think that means one foot is emotionally out the door. But I do think people don't understand if you don't meet a standard for somebody, they have every right to walk away.
Right, that's fine, but not playing emotional games though.
I
You
don't
see what
think
I'm
that's-
saying?
But how's that a game? Just tell me.
Because the reason why it turns into a game is like, I know my actions, my behavior is going to trigger something inside of my partner. Because I want my partner to behave or act a certain type of way, excuse me, I'm going to behave like this so I can trigger this person to make them behave like that. That's a game because I'm intentionally doing it to you. You see where I'm coming from? Like I'm intentionally fucking with your brain. Like, you know, I'm gonna make you do this, so I'm pushing you to the right because I know I want you to go right.
Well, I think what David says here, he says free will, and I think that's a fact, right? If I say to you that I want a man who's willing to take care of me, pay my bills, you know, keep me in the highest, the latest fashion, newest cars, right? You could say it's a game for me to walk away if you can't do that. But at the end of the day, if it's my standard that that's what I want, then it would be dumb of me to sit there and take less than that when I already said my standard was just what I said. And right, I get what you're saying, but I think to some degree, when somebody tells you who they are, you have to believe them. So if they tell you, hey, I'm a person who values a man who will take care of me, will pay my bills, and you know, keep me up.
Right. No, but there's nothing wrong with it. If you come to the table and you say, hey, you know what? I want a woman who's gonna cook for me. I want a woman who's gonna clean for me. I want a woman who's gonna make love to me whenever I want. That's your expectation of the woman that you're with, which is absolutely fine. But the minute that you recognize that I am not fulfilling those expectations, don't try to start playing mind games with me to make me want to fulfill those expectations. Just politely leave.
But I'm going to tell you this right here, right? Because Honest Love said it was easy for me to detach, but I was always kind of respectful. I wouldn't be trampled on, though. I would leave immediately. And I think that's what it's about. It's not about like, oh, you know, I have one foot out the door. I think it's about if you start to disrespect me, which is for example, let's say for me, it's a deal breaker for a man to ever call me a bitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
He calls me a bitch, I leave. That's not me being easy to detach or not being really.
No, that's your deal breaker.
That's my deal breaker. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think sometimes people will try to manipulate the fact that you have a deal breaker. Like, hey, if you cheat on me, I leave. But then they'll say like, "Oh, you just leave the first time you go through something." No, you knew.
That's what he's saying though. But that's what that. Okay, we're gonna use your scenario as the example. Okay. Your deal breaker is if he calls me a bitch, I'm leaving. I don't care what the situation is. Now your partner knows that about you. Your partner wants to call you a bitch, but doesn't want you to leave, right? So what he does is he calls you a bitch, but at the same time, quickly goes into defense mode where he's triggering emotional thoughts within you to make you not leave because he knew he wasn't supposed to call you a bitch. You see where I'm coming from? That's basically when I'm saying like you're playing mind games. Like, bro, you knew you weren't supposed to call me that, and you triggered something inside of you. Called me that and tried to trigger emotions inside of me to make me stay. That's mind games.
But that's where your standards will have to stay firm and be like, hey,
deuces, I'm leaving regardless.
I love you, right? But you did what I told you not to do, which was degrade me, denigrate me in a verbal way, and I don't want that, so I'm leaving.
Exactly.
And leave. And that man can't say, well, you were just willing to walk away. No, you knew what the deal breaker was.
Right. So don't try to come and trigger no emotions inside of me by trying to make me go left because you want me to go left. And when I do go left, you trigger something else inside of me to make me go right because you want me to go right. No, you knew that I didn't like that. And the deal breaker is you call me that, I'm leaving. Period. No mind games. But that's easier said than done, though, because sometimes you love your man and you love your woman. We're just saying, this is just our opinion we're putting out there for you.
Yeah, but I also just want to say this. This is where you start to master detachment.
Right.
Can you walk away from a man you love because he's treating you wrong?
Because he's triggering you. Yeah.
I can. Right?
Eventually I can.
Right, but I'm saying like that's where you have to be realistic in yourself. Right?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
Exactly.
saying it's not, there's no fix all. It's not wrong if you can't. But you have to understand your limitations as a person, as a woman.
Yep, as a queen.
So that you don't set yourself up for failure by like telling yourself you can do all this and you really can't. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
It's all about that really for me. But let's listen to a little bit more from detachment and then we're gonna move on to the next video. The next and last video that I have planned is Dr. Umar to the
that's
second
Umar
most,
Johnson, yes. Okay.
Him and the second most toxic man in America, Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen to the two of them dingbats talk. And then we're gonna go and do some fun stuff like go on other things. Right.
We're not gonna give it to you guys right now. You just gotta stay tuned to see the one later on.
Yes, and we're gonna have a live conversation. A live. Being super obvious, but it's gonna be fun. All right, so stick around. Let's listen to more about detachment and how that triggers a man to chase. Right? He says emotions, but really it's to chase.
I'm telling you guys to put the fear of God in guys. Us guys, we take things for granted. And if you don't show us how to appreciate you through how you pull away, through how you punish us when we disrespect you, we're naturally going to go in the route of monopolizing you, trying to get you to completely love us, trying to get you to completely obsess with us, and almost make it an unbalanced type of relationship. It's up to you to make it balanced. If a guy, if you don't show a guy you're willing to walk away, he's not going to make the effort to make it balanced, right? But if you show a guy that you're willing to walk away, you'll notice that guys just put more effort, or they don't like the fact that you stand up to them, so they walk away. Detachment has a quality of only keeping guys that are healthy for you. Toxic guys that want complete control will not want to be with you. They'll run away, people. They'll run away from you because what they're after is power. What they're after is control over someone. And this is not the type of control. They want someone who's completely dependent on them. And it's not that, it's not that you are completely dependent, because you are at the same time. But like I said, you're able to walk away, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, it makes them think, that you're never going to leave, and God just cannot respect that. They see you as a doormat. You got to be able to develop high intention, low attachment.
As much as women try to act like men want a woman who's just 100% cooperative, no, they don't want a damn doormat.
We need a bell. Bing, 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 bing.
Listen, let me see if we, I'm purposeful, but here, we're playing back on. Let me see if I got a sound effect for that. I don't think I do.
Bing, 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 bing. The way that some black men make it seem like they have to date white women because they want this woman to be so submissive, and yes, you must listen to my every tune and you must dance to my every drum beat. This gentleman right here is saying complete opposite of that. He's saying he doesn't want a woman that's going to lick his genitals like 24/7. Don't allow him to breathe. He's saying to give men space. That's different.
Correct. Yeah, and honestly, I think it really depends on the type of man you want, but that's fairly realistic, right? You don't want a man to think that you're balls deep.
I'm telling you.
Every relationship you're willing to go balls deep with him, like, he wants you to think like, hey, you're above him in some aspects. You don't want to be with his sneaky behind. You will go find another man. You will go get a better man if he doesn't treat you right. And a lot of times women are so caught up in trying to make a man feel like confident that he has you. instead of showing that you have confidence in yourself and you're not just going to stick around for anything.
Exactly.
So,
women love men with power.
And we're talking relationships for dummies, guys, right? We're not talking about finding a sophisticated life partner who has the same goals as you. We're talking about just baseline, marriages and relationships and things like that. For you to find your person, you probably got to do a little bit more work than this. All right, so we're going to move on to the next video I have. This one is Dr. Umar and Nick Cannon, Problematic Bandit, that we're going to enjoy their talking.
This is going to be interesting. Oh.
Yes, let me share the screen because for some reason I'm not. But, these is a self-admitted he's diagnosed, but he's self, like the world he was a narcissist. Nobody told him nobody put that information out there. He just wanted the world to know that he was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and he's a narcissist, and that's why he has these.
It's Nick Cannon. You guys should know.
Right. So David says women want a man she desires.
Yeah, I think we all should want the man we desire. Thank you,
David.
David.
I think that the information is just so philosophical, but thank you, David. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna play the next video. This is Dr. Umar and Nick Cannon talking about death.
I'm in love with Mariah, and you have not yet faced that reality.
I said I'm in love with Mariah, and I said I feel like I always will be.
The reason you have all these different homes, good brother, is because you're running from that spiritual maturity that you need to develop to be 100% present in the life of one of these women. Collectively, they might make a Mariah.
Ooh.
See, that might be Mariah Pie.
I see what you did.
All those women, look, I caught it. All those women is Mariah Pie. They are each a slice of Mariah.
Session number 2, a safe space and a brave place. We are having some very vulnerable conversations.
I'm going to say this, maybe he is just trying to help him to understand his own pathology. But that's just the worst excuse ever, right? You're dating all these women because each of them are a piece of one woman that you're supposed to really love and value, right? Joshua asked a good question. He said, "Is Dr. Umar married?" No. Nope, he's a 2-time baby daddy.
Not a 2-time baby daddy. Oh my God. But I mean, I kind of understand the perspective by him saying that this Nick is dating all these women because he's running away from that one person that he actually loved. And the reason why I think Dr. Umar is saying that, because realistically, Nick left his marriage because of finances. Because he couldn't handle the fact that Mariah had more money than him. So it wasn't because he didn't love her. It's just that he couldn't, I guess, overpower her in a sense.
But my thing is, if you're such a man, then why, first of all, if you feel like you're a woman making more money than you is a problem, why don't you go out there and make more money than her? She's not stopping you from out earning her.
Right, but I mean,
you know what I mean?
Said and done.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's not going to be.
He should have never tried to fill them shoes if he knew he wasn't going to be able to walk them. I feel you.
Yeah, that's my point. Is if that's going to be something you feel like is unrealistic to expect of him, it's not me who expects it. It's the man that's trying to justify, I can't be with the woman who makes more money than me. Okay, so then go out there and make more money than her.
Right.
And if you can't, then get over that.
Right. But he couldn't get over it. That's why he had to leave. And then upon leaving, he started creating all these families. But realistically, that just shows even more of how much of a beta he is. How much more of a weak man he is. Yeah. Nick Cannon,
weak.
You gotta pull the pass out for Nick.
Men want to be the baddie.
Come on.
And Nick definitely wanted to be the baddie.
Very much so.
He said, "No, honey, you can't make more money than me."
I have to be the baddie. No.
He said, I gotta be the one. And he couldn't go out there and out-earn his wife. And so
And he still can't.
rejected her. Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know you can't, what's the point? What's the point in allowing yourself to be upset because you can't make more money than her? Get over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your lot in life to make more money than her.
Mm-hmm.
So, just focus on something else. Maybe be bigger than her. Way more than her, right? Like,
make a Christmas song. That's what she did. I'm just
whatever you need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
he
it's
just wanted to be a baddie and he couldn't.
And he couldn't. And it wasn't his life. But let's hear them talk, right? Because they're really gonna get into it.
With the amazing and honorable Dr. Umar Johnson. Normally we see you speaking on things specifically about the Pan-Africanism, being the King Kong of consciousness. But today we're digging a little deeper, being a little more intimate, and picking up where we left off, where we were, having a brother-to-brother conversation about relationships, specifically marriage, high value, high functioning. And we got to the space with me being a divorced man in his 40s, of my ideal of desiring my ex-wife still, which I said it can't be. Of course, I will forever love her. I will forever be in love with her. But I have to zoom out and acknowledge.
So for me, this makes me think like he doesn't even value love. If you can just say somebody he doesn't even understand
He's
the
selfish.
connection. Yeah, like he doesn't even understand his connection, why it was so strong with her. But he's saying like, oh, I'm gonna forever love her. You don't even know what that means to you, or to you, it doesn't really have that much of a value.
Like I said, when he says I'm always gonna love her, I was always going to choose her to be in that marriage light with me. She was always going to be a chosen one. It's not that, oh, my God, I'm pouring on you don't love her. You're not with her right now. She's always going to be someone that you chose to be with.
Yep. All right, let's continue. Ready?
Ready?
Many other things, just as a man.
True, but did you process all that needed to be processed to if we don't leave a situation the right way, sometimes we can never heal from it.
100%. And I'm continuing to be I'm in therapy right now.
Right. But I'm saying there may have been a lot left on the table there.
100%.
That needs to be processed.
So let's speak of that, because I know I'm not the only one. On
an unconscious level,
right,
it could be possible that the reason you haven't given any other queens a chance at your heart is because you need her to know that if she ever wants it back, it's available.
That's a tough one. I would offer this up because my mind doesn't go that.
That's how I say it's a tough one without answering.
No, my mind no, because I don't want to say yes or no to that.
Understood.
Because where my mind actually
but
does
it's a possibility.
No, he said his mind hasn't reached there yet. It's not that his mind hasn't reached there yet. He knows deep down inside of him that Mariah is not going to take him back.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's no reason to put himself in a state of mind of thinking that, oh, I want her to know that my heart will always be here in case if she wanted. No, she knows she's a queen, and she recognized that, and she kept her crown on when you tried to try her in front of the nation, in front of the world. No, she don't want your heart back. I mean, keep your little heart in your little chest.
Oh boy, she said, keep your little heart in the cannon.
In your little chest.
In your little chest. Boom. All right, let's continue.
There's what I do feel is, and I've said this to every woman since my ex-wife, is that I'm broken. Therefore, which makes me emotionally unavailable.
And that sends out a signal to them that you should not expect me to be emotionally available, because I'm telling you right now I'm broken, which is your code word to them that you're not getting my heart.
Partly. But you're not getting my heart because I'm still over here. That's not what it is. because I genuinely
That's not
don't.
what you're saying, but I think that's what it is.
Really?
I believe you're still in love with Mariah, and you have not yet faced that reality.
I said I'm in love with Mariah.
But I don't like when men try to feed each other this, like, no, he's saying what he's saying. And what he's saying is, you know, he's always going to love his first wife because he, you know, that was his first try at it. And every other woman was just a game.
I think what Dr. Umar is trying to get,
he's trying to get him to say is that,
is to admit, like, bro, I was wrong.
But what if it's not true? What if he doesn't believe he was wrong? What if he truly believes that things didn't work out because, you know, genuinely she wasn't for him, he wasn't for her?
Because he just said that, like, his heart, like, I still love her. The way
But I'm saying, like, he don't know. I feel like he's not a healthy person where he believes, like, he knows what love is. Like, I feel like even if he were to say, like, I love her, like, I feel like he's really just talking about, like, a word. He don't know how to really, it didn't work out because he didn't know how to love her. He didn't know how to be a present partner
at that particular moment. But I think with the whole world chiming in on this and listening to his story and bashing him about it, it probably made him go into a space within himself like, damn, was I really a mean person to her? Was I really a bad person?
He's too, like, I feel like he ain't shit. He said he's a narc personality disorder. He was diagnosed. So I really don't think that he cares. I just think that he's starting to recognize, hey, like, I really didn't put effort. Like, I didn't actually, you know, I was vain. I was upset because I didn't make more money than her. It was a status relationship. Like, that's things that he's starting to realize. But I don't think that changes his intentions. I think if his intentions of being with her was because he wanted a, you know, a rich baby mother or whatever, then
he probably just married Mariah because he wanted his money to go up, his views to go up.
Yeah, for clout. That's what I'm saying. Like, people want to keep telling him that he's stuck on Mariah, but it's like, no, I think that's a great story to tell, but I don't think things are that sweet in reality.
You never know. Her breath might stink. But let's go. Let's figure it out. What his problem. We don't know what his problem is. We don't know what it is that made him feel like
she got a fishy smell.
I don't know.
We don't. I feel like I always will be. But let's go back before I had the opportunity to marry my dream girl, Mariah Carey. And if we really
who was my dream girl too?
But I got her. no, but I'll give you this because this is what I struggle with throughout my marriage. This is what I struggle with still to this day. And this is what I struggled with before I got married. My own personal identity in the sense of who I am and what is my purpose as a man on this planet.
Okay.
And I would probably say I'm pretty sure there's so many young brothers that feel this way because we're taught, you know, go out and get it, go out and hustle by any means. And if you do during this process, find a helpmate that you are equally yoked with, take her along on your journey to build your kingdom. So if most of my life I'm building my kingdom on my own and I'm focused and I'm reaching these levels of success to where I am enjoying the man that I am becoming.
Okay.
And that I'm taught that women are only a hindrance, or most women are out to get you for your money, or most women are going to be your downfall, is what I've been indoctrinated with during my journey. When
Question, I get your mother and father, did you live in the household with both of them?
Never.
Never.
Now I lived in a household with both my grandmother and grandfather. Again,
I am pausing the video because I want you guys to listen to what he had to say. As a black man, as a man, he was taught that women was going to stop his success, that women basically would get in the way of him getting his bag, how we want to say it. Who is teaching men these things? Like, who is putting these ideas and thoughts into men? Like, whatever happened to building your home upon a woman? Like, what? Like, what is it? Cannot be that real. Anyways, we'll go back and finish listening to some of the stuff that Nick has to say.
You got to remember, my parents were teenagers when they you know, conceived me. But so going back to that sense of being as a teenager myself on a pathway to being the head of the household, being the patriarch of my family, being, you know, one that has so much on his shoulders, and willingly taking on this assignment.
Yes.
And putting my heart secondary.
Okay.
Or even also enjoying the ideas of being a player and being a man that can provide for many.
Point of clarity.
Yes.
You lived with your grandparents. Did you ever live under the same roof with mom?
Absolutely.
Okay. Was mom with grandparents as well? Was it all four of y'all?
No. My mom had her crib. My dad had a separate family in North Carolina, and my grandparents had their house.
Okay. When did you move from grandparent to mom?
It was always back and forth.
It was always back and forth.
Always back and forth, which a lot of my abandonment issues are established in that sense, because I figured this out in therapy as well. What I've often realized is that I've always protected my heart because I love for the moment, because at any moment in my life, I could have to root up and be living with a completely different individual. Or even from weekends to however, you know, over here to there, I'm always having to say, I'm gonna love hard as much as I can, get as much as I can here, because I know I got to go over here for a few days and get that same amount. So through therapy, I realized that has definitely created the individual that I am, that gives me those detachment abilities and also those abandonment issues.
And I would say with that, you have a romantic fight or flight response.
Absolutely.
That's more oriented to flight.
Absolutely.
The minute the conflict come,
I'm out. Absolutely.
You don't stay and fight for love. You don't stay and fight for the relationship.
Why would I stay and fight, Doc?
Stay with me. And because of that early abandonment, I believe that, number one, as much as you love your mother, however so this happened, you picked up a belief that loving...
And this is my point, 80 or 80, whatever. 80. I definitely agree. You know, I think this is a really good excuse to continue to prioritize self, to make excuses for how you treat other people. You know, I think Dr. Umar is like the king of that, right? Because he's been talking about building this school for like 15 years. There's no school has materialized. And so he keeps sort of feeding Nick Cannon these theories on why he's treating women the way he is. And what it comes down to is that he just does not value them in his life. He doesn't value what they're doing, even though all of them have given him children. That's what it's about for him. It's some weird family tree thing.
Nick Cannon is an opportunist.
Yes.
And again, I don't believe no grown man should use past trauma to say that this is the reason why I treated somebody that way. As a matter of fact, you should use that experience not to treat someone a certain type of way, because you already know how it feels to be, you know, to be the trauma,
right?
Or to live through the trauma. Yeah. So I don't accept none of that, like past trauma for men. I just leave it at the door, because we're grown now. We can't rewind the hands of time and tell our parents, hey, you know what? You shouldn't have done this. Like, let's go back and switch this because I don't want to carry this trauma with me. No, you either pick that person or you leave that person alone. And again, the more I hear this conversation, That man married Mariah Carey because he's an opportunist.
Yeah, he
That's
wanted
just
to.
that's just what it is.
That's what it really
Like,
was.
yeah, but I got her. No, realistically, you didn't get Mariah Carey. You used Mariah Carey, and that's probably what you need to admit to, so you could stop having those kids with all these women. Because now, deep down inside, you know that she didn't deserve that treatment that you gave her.
Yeah, but and also it's like you literally fumbled her. So even if you talk about having her or having had her, you fumbled her because now you have no access to her. Who's she dating right now? She's dating some young whatever, you know? And you're just sitting there having built a million family trees with some random women, and everyone's looking at you like you're crazy. You know, but I think it's interesting that he is coming out and saying, well, oh, this is my narcissistic personality disorder, whatever. I don't know. I just think it's a whole lot of, it's a whole lot of excuse for that you didn't know how to maintain this
woman
good situation that you had.
You had a woman in a very good situation and you didn't know how to maintain it. You fumbled.
Yes. Let's listen to these two dust mites for a little bit more. This video is 40 minutes long.
A woman can be painful. It can be detrimental to my health. Your mother's lack of availability made you fearful of commitment to women emotionally. It's one of the reasons you're guarded.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I was gonna go with you with the love can be painful aspect, but me and my mother have such a great relationship that even what I did witness my mother experience quite a lot of pain from other men. And
this is part of my point too.
Right.
The examples you saw were not always healthy.
Right.
And those examples you saw that were not always healthy crystallized in you as core beliefs about love.
100%. Because even to this day, if we're going to zoom out into the bigger picture, even the statistics show it. I haven't seen a lot of healthy traditional relationships. Met a faithful monogamous man.
Okay.
Because you know we can all throw up the.
But saying you come from the school of thought that there's no faithful monogamous men. Like you're admitting that you purposefully choose to believe that monogamy is not possible, and so you don't have to be monogamous, even if that's what your relationship is
supposed to be.
Yeah, so it's like it's a lot of scapegoating, using these terms to scapegoat their behavior, and that's what gets me with these labels. Sometimes with these labels, I'm like, we don't need them. Right? Just say that you're manipulative. Say that you're, you know what I mean?
You con artist, you.
Right. Don't get on here and say that you're like, you know, like a good partner. You're essentially somebody who's looking to
rob somebody without a gun.
Yeah. Like convince them that they want the less that you're trying to give. Right? So anyways, let's continue because I think this is interesting because he flat out denies Umar trying to pathologize his like mother wound,
right?
You know? And I think Umar
he's been doing that a lot, though. He's been I don't think so.
Yeah, and because
what are you sitting in his chair for?
Well, Umar's off base to have like one conversation with him and make those conclusions.
And getting into the whole mother, your mother wasn't there.
Right.
That's right. He's a celebrity, so that's kind of touchy.
Yeah, it's sensitive for him. And anyone would know that, you know. But I think he was pushing because Umar is a pusher. Like, you know, he likes to get that reaction, that hot button. But let's continue.
Facade, like that. Oh, this person, but and again, because I don't want to generalize. I don't want to mess up nobody's house.
Yes.
But the majority of men that I've witnessed at some point in time have done something unhealthy in their relationship.
Which may be true, but if they stayed and fought for that relationship, then ultimately I would still consider it a healthy relationship.
So what you're telling me is as long as you stay is healthy.
No, if you stayed, and if this is where
And if you listen to how he's talking about it, he's sort of all or nothing, right? He doesn't really leave a lot of room for nuance, because what Dr. Umar, I think he was trying to say there is that
leave that little space.
Yeah, he's saying if that man is willing to try and work on his fault,
Work
and
with him.
compromise, and work with that woman, then yeah, it's different than a man just staying in a toxic relationship. Nothing changes. That's different. You guys just stay with each other, and you aren't improving at all. You guys are just, sort of being toxic and perpetuating a relationship with no communication. But if you're staying and you guys are working through things, that's very different.
And Nick is saying no.
Nick
Not
is like,
really.
yeah, he's like, it's black and white. He says either you are or you aren't. Right? If you cheat on her, then you're a bad guy. There's nothing else to it. But I think that black and white thinking is what makes men think that they're not capable. It's not possible for them to be monogamous or faithful, which is it's really a cop out. No woman's gonna want you if you're like that. So, all right, let's continue with this.
your heart was, and if you was honest in loving that woman, the fact that you made a mistake is not the final assessment of that relationship.
But what is the mistake?
But the thing for you though, brother Nick, I feel that you have an internal bias where you're constantly looking for real world examples to corroborate and support your dysfunctional core belief that a healthy, sustainable, loving, and intimate relationship with a woman for you is an impossibility.
Nah, I don't.
Were you emotionally available to Sister Mariah?
Yes.
You were.
Yeah.
I believe you want her back. You do.
I wouldn't say that.
Yes, I'm saying it. Because this is what I do. And everybody sitting here agrees. There's not a Negro in this room. And I believe
that's
where you want to be.
I feel like we're in different spaces in life. That
ain't got nothing to do with you wanting her. That ain't got nothing. You see?
I disagree though. Like
if I'm still in love with a woman, it don't mean I can have her. And we might be at different spaces in life, but that don't mean you don't want her back.
Okay, so
you're still there.
And
that's why nobody else can get a piece of your heart because it belongs to Mariah.
We're in a safe space, right? We being vulnerable,
Absolutely.
right? We just can't.
We in the man cave.
I don't want to start shit that I don't need to start. So ultimately, what I'll say, I divorced my wife.
You initiated.
Yes.
Why?
So in that, because it goes back to what I was saying before, where I was talking about the man that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is, years of therapy. The man that I am and the man that I was before I was married, I feel like I lost my identity and who I was once I became.
You know what's funny is that men all but expect that out of their woman or their spouse. Right? They expect her to take on who he is, his likes, his wants, his needs, his business ventures. I feel like men expect that of women, but as soon as obviously she was the more successful one, and that's what he keeps implying, right? Is that he had to take a back seat.
And as you can see with what he just said when he said, I'm the one that divorced my wife. In other words, that's him trying to tell himself, you need to gain power back because you don't have power.
Yeah.
This is my power. I'm going to divorce you and claim my power back, which makes him a beta.
Not beta.
Pulling out the card on him.
What is the card say?
Men want to be baddies.
Emotional damage.
Yes, they want to be baddies so bad.
So bad. Like you trying to degrade her, talking about I'm the one that divorced my wife. Like you can't bring Mariah down. She's a queen. But we can continue.
A husband.
A husband.
And
the husband I became was Mr. Mariah Carey.
So are you telling me that you let the public's opinion influence how you function in your marriage?
It wasn't the public's opinion, but that was part of it, because it wasn't, I could care less about
Understood.
what people thought.
But because of who she is, you knew going in.
Because I didn't feel like a man.
Because of what?
So many things. Initially.
Give me two things.
Financially.
But you knew going
I
in.
mean, like, this is where I get a little frustrated, because I'm like, okay, so if you don't feel like a man because you're not out earning your wife, then go out there, try to out earn your wife. And if you can, then you're a man. If you can't, then you're not, and you let it go. Mm-hmm. Or you just completely abandon that perspective that you have to make a dollar amount in order to be a good partner or to be a worthwhile partner. You know, I feel like sometimes men base everything on these like materialistic things like money or, you know.
He sounds so sad saying what he's saying right now. Like, it just doesn't even sound right.
He sounds like it's all ego. It's not even about money. It's
yeah,
just about ego.
It is his ego.
And then did I go in with the right intentions?
Did you?
I had to ask myself those questions.
Did you?
I believe I went in for love, but in the sense of like what my life, because you got to think at the time, I'm a man in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enamored. Mm-hmm. I'm in awe of the greatest presence of a woman that I have ever witnessed.
Yes, sir.
You know, and so I could have been clapped.
Yeah, so he wanted to be a bad bitch, okay? He wanted to be a bad bitch. And Mariah was the way there.
And Mariah was a bad bitch with no words. Like, she didn't even have to lift a finger for it. She is what she is.
So, yeah, he wanted to ride her coattails. And
trying to get that crown off of her, but can't.
Because like, that's why I said, when he says love, you can't just take that as the word love, right? But for him, it was more of like, what can this woman do for me?
Yes.
Right? She served a purpose.
She's gonna up my status, but instead of his status going up, his status was going up as Mariah's husband.
Yeah, he didn't.
It wasn't Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
It was, I'm in the shadow of Mariah. Oh, that's Mariah over there.
That's Mariah's husband. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not Nick Cannon. Exactly.
Outed by just the idea of love. The hopeless romantic in me was like, I gotta get this right. I gotta figure this. This is a blessing from the Most High, regardless of what the scenario was. So again, in spending time and figuring out, like, man, was I blinded by the idea?
What's the age gap? How many years?
About a decade.
Okay. Is it possible that you didn't believe you deserved her?
Absolutely. 100%.
So there was a self-esteem
That's
piece.
what I'm saying. That's where I'm going back to. On many levels of, this is someone that is out of my league. This is someone that is more mature than I am. This is someone who has all the things she desires in life is completely different than my desire. So then, therefore, when I'm in this scenario, I'm like, ooh, am I losing myself? So in that, and I'll take it this one step further, because then we'll go to those spaces of once I did come out of the marriage, my behavior then became to prove all of those things that I may have feared within my marriage, is that I can provide, I can do for others in an abundant way. So therefore, possibly being the reasons why I choose multiple partners and choose to take care of multiple people and create such a vast and large family.
What is the reason?
But he can
prove himself, so he can prove to himself that he's a man. That's why he's doing it.
It's sad.
So he can prove, like, yo, I am not just Mariah's husband. I am not a shadow. Everything that I worked hard for, I worked hard for it, and I'm able to take care of people that I say I love. Not people that I know I love and that I show that I love, but people I say I love. So all these women that come after Mariah, they're all test experiments. They're all pawns in whatever grand scheme of whatever validation he needs to let himself know that he is a man and that he's not just a bitch.
So it's like the complex on him is real. He has such an inferiority. Like he feels not like nothing. You know?
Wow.
I don't know.
To prove to myself that I could do it.
Okay.
Because for so much time I didn't have to. So as someone who has
So
now
are you
reached
saying that
spaces of my financial ability and even just what the definition of a man is, if that energy for a certain amount of time has been stifled or muted, when I come out of that, I want to be the biggest lion in the jungle. I want to be able to roam and procreate. And
So are you one of those men who feel that if I am not dependent upon completely or disproportionately by my woman, part of my security as a man is knowing you need me? Do you feel that part of your inadequacy in your marriage was due to the fact that you didn't feel needed enough by your spouse?
Absolutely. 100%.
But wouldn't you also have to agree that that was a bit immature and archaic?
Absolutely. At this point, hindsight. But it also, because I think even before my marriage and even more it enhanced after my marriage, that I've always had a king complex. And
what you mean by that?
That I'm looking to build a kingdom.
Okay.
I'm looking to be regal in that sense of I need my queen.
He doesn't even he wants to that he needs validation.
Yeah, that's why he's like, oh, it's about regalness and kingdom. And no, you just want a woman, somebody to validate you.
And definitely a person that's beneath you.
Right.
Not nobody that's above you or that could stand toe to toe with you. You want somebody that is below you.
Right. He wants to feel like the big man. He wants to feel like the prize.
Right.
Like
he wants to be. I need to laminate this. The baddie.
Badly. It's not cute. It's not cute. All right, let's continue.
Court.
Okay.
And even like we often talk about it in that sense. I think, there's many men out there that believe that whether it's the hierarchy, infrastructure, or the order of the household, how we are aligned, the man is the patriarch, and therefore I have the ability to, and my goal, the reason why I wake up in the morning and grind so hard is so that I can continue to enlarge my territory. So I can continue to build my kingdom, whether it's from biblical proportions or not. It's the idea of I'm a king. I have to walk in this way. And anytime my kingdom is challenged, therefore I can't be a part of that scenario.
Your own inadequacies ran you away from your marriage.
100%.
Did you seek therapy before you ended it?
Yes. Because what I would like, even we talked about this in our last session and even in this session, because I feel like when we're in scenarios and emotions are so heightened, we can't see the forest for the trees. We can't, we get so bogged down in the passion and the love and I got to make this decision. I got to say this. I have to do this, that we make decisions based off of emotion. We shouldn't, you know what I mean? And went through therapy, we learned that we have to do, but I would, as high insight, there's a lot of things I would probably do differently, specifically when it comes to that. But I know there's just like other men out there, I had and still have so many self-esteem issues, so so many insecurities. And when those things are heightened at a level, when they're amplified and magnified, like in my lifestyle, then it's like I'm just seeking peace. So when you get to that space of like, where can I just find inner peace and comfort in who I am?
And you don't feel that you can.
You know, Lana, I don't really know what he's talking about, right? I think he's really speaking from a very selfish perspective, and Dr. Umar is doing his best, right? His most dusty best way of trying to interpret that for us. But you heard Nick Cannon a few times say, nope, I don't think that's right. Right? Disagreeing with Dr. Umar's observations about him having mommy issues and other things. But what do you think? Do you think that he actually did have some mommy issues?
I don't think it has anything to do with mommy issues, to be honest with you. It has everything to do with, like he said, he has a low self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? He has, apart from having the low self-esteem, he knew Mariah was out of his league. He knew that he couldn't get a woman like Mariah because, I mean, we all know Mariah came with the bag. So if we all knew Mariah came with the bag, definitely Nick Cannon knew that Mariah came with the bag. So now all of a sudden to marry her and then be like, her bag bothers me. Her bag makes me feel like you know what I'm saying? That's all BS.
And she might have had a lot of men who had a bag. Hers
and it's funny how
they had more self-esteem than him, you know?
Right. And you know what's funny about it? Because right now we're sitting and we're talking about Nick Cannon's perspective and point of view and all this extra good things and stuff about Nick Cannon. But can you imagine how Mariah feels? Like you're a queen and you gave a peasant a chance. Not only you married this person, but you've allowed him to enter your body, and you have two beautiful children. You understand what I'm saying? Like that is Nick Cannon is not broken,
right?
Because he's the one that did the breaking. Right. Mariah is breaking. Could you imagine letting a dust mite like that? You feel me? Come into your world. Come into what you've built for yourself. Come into that. Share that space with you, only for him to be a dusty bum.
Right.
That's disgusting.
You know, David Emmett says her bag means nothing. Oh, it means something.
It means something because he married her.
He married her for it.
Yeah.
With it in mind.
Yeah.
You know, he was definitely thinking about her bag when he decided to get at her.
Talk about you knew the lady came with the bag. And David, you too, you know Mariah has a bag. Nobody has to tell you that.
Right. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and end here. This is our final video for this video. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
We will be back for a late night little thing, right? We're going to be online.
Wink.
Yeah, we're going to be online just acting a fool. But we wanted to separate the content. We wanted to do like a battle of the sexes. And then we're going to come back and do like a spontaneous, funny show where we go on different things and do live conversations.
We're going to explore a little bit. Very discreet about it.
Yes, I'm trying to be discreet so you guys can come back in like an hour, like probably close to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to do like a late night vibes, sort of having a speed dating type of environment.
Right.
On the interwebs. So, okay, make sure you guys come back here in an hour to check this out. But otherwise, we thank you guys for joining us and checking this out again. All right. Later. It's episode 2 of Battle of the Sexes. We'll be back for some more. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.